Time now for AM Press Review, and today Nicola Mawson of Business Day helps us look at the stories as told by the newspapers this morning. Nicola, good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Right, yourself.
Business Day is leading with?
Today we're leading with Business Unity, the umbrella business organisation which is facing a cash crunch. It seems it doesn't have enough coming in to cover what's going out. Although the CEO, Jerry Vilakazi, has promised to save it and not let it go under on his watch.
Okay, and does he say how?
No, he's
Not really.
not specific. He does trace back the history of the debt or the history of lack of funding, which is attributed to black companies from previously disadvantaged histories not having enough to cover their membership fees, so they had to lower the membership fees.
Okay. And then of course you have the union story.
Yeah. 3 weeks into the strike, it's not surprising that we still have front page news, although not as high level front page news. Seems to be a bit of a deadlock. They've postponed the deadline to tomorrow on the talks.
All right.
Yeah.
Proudly South African cut loose by state.
Yes, well, Proudly South African is apparently a DTI body, and now apparently it isn't.
And why is that? Why have they cut it off?
Well, yeah, apparently there's some confusion between the fact whether it's a Section 21 company or a government entity, or because they were reporting into the DTI and now they've been told that they're not part of them. And they're also facing a bit of a cash crunch. They're not
So
getting
they have to
enough
find
money
a new home.
They're going to have to find somewhere else.
All right, let's take a look at the Star.
Yes, yeah, apparently a doctor has said that instead of spending 1 million on Brian Hlongwe's boardroom, he could have spent it on saving the lives of 25 children. He's apparently spent R1 million on refurbishing a boardroom.
A boardroom, and this is the picture of the boardroom there.
Yeah, that's an artist's impression of the boardroom with 25 children.
25 children that could have been saved.
Yeah.
All right.
Wage talks again. And then a bizarre story coming from China. Apparently a Chinese firm that was trying to sell bits of the moon and was struck down by the court for trying to sell things it just didn't own. He's trying to sell World Cup air in bin bags. Can you believe it? For just over $6 a bag.
Is there a market for these crazy things?
I don't. One would wonder, but I imagine if they're trying to sell it, there must be.
There must be a market.
Absolutely.
All right, the ZANU-PF agrees on agenda for change.
Yep, they've agreed to a list of items that they will look at to try and organise change, some of which include looking at independent newspapers, a new constitution. All the things they've been haggling over for the past few years are now on the agenda.
On the agenda, which is, I think, a bit of progress.
It's a bit of a step in the right direction.
The Sowetan?
Well, they've done a roundup of what's happening in South Africa while the strike talks are ongoing. They've done a whole double-page spread, in fact. They've got Mamelodi erupting over service delivery, 26 cars destroyed at the Department of Education. The union has denied that it's them. Union members toying in court, and a roundup of where we are with the negotiations.
Okay, and of course the lead story is...
The lead story is the SABC has pulled out of a charity event.
That's the Telkom Cup?
Telkom Cup charity event, yeah.
Right.
Apparently over the
eTV now has the rights to broadcast that cup.
Oh, well, there we go.
There we go. Beeld.
Yes, Matfield. Victor Matfield is South Africa's 52nd captain. He's standing in for John Smith, who's got an injury. But that's not the angle Beeld's leading with. They're saying that he's supposed to be running off to France to play for Toulon while he's the captain.
All right, I wouldn't comment there. I don't know what that means.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but it would appear he signed an agreement with the French team and then was named captain of the South African team.
So it does, bring a bit of difficulty. Okay.
Yeah.
The Times.
Yeah, new sales of cars, rather. The new National Credit Act, which requires that people have a look at your affordability, and you need to fill in an income and expense form, and they assess you based on whether you can actually afford the repayments, has slowed down new car sales, apparently.
That's quite a quick reaction, though, because it only just came into effect now
1st of June, yeah, fully, yeah. I think there's a bit of uncertainty on exactly how to work, and I think a lot of companies are being more cautious than they need to be.
Okay.
Because if they don't do their job properly and make sure that the person can afford it, if the person's fully honest, they stand to take a liability there if the person they've sold to defaults. So there's a lot of cautiousness.
And in any case, we will be doing an interview on what the implications are for car sales. Those who want to own or rather buy cars, says the implications of the National Credit Act. So we'll get certainly into the bottom of that.
That'll be interesting.
And then this is the picture of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, I'm not a big soccer fan.
With the Barcelona players.
Barcelona were in the country to play a match. I know the whole office ran off last night to Loftus to watch the match.
So did some of us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, obviously, who doesn't come here and not meet Mandela?
No, I feel a bit left out.
What, your thought on this Virgin Mary visionary story?
I don't know, it's a bit of a tricky one. I mean, Francesca obviously believes that she's seen the Virgin Mary, but it's caused a lot of hype, and that's never a good thing. And the church has asked her to, just stay at home quietly and pray, but she's apparently still seeing people. Seeing people. Yeah, and one woman's gone blind already from looking at the sun.
For this, that is really an intriguing story. The Daily Sun, the last paper.
Yes. Well, the red ants again, and picture of the red ants there. There's squatter camp evictions happening on the West Rand at the Durban Widderput Deep and a few other places, and there's a whole story on the inside about how everybody's been evicted and they're not allowed to get their furniture out and they haven't been notified, which is a rather typical story. Unfortunately, not at all unusual.
But the only sad thing is that it's happening now in the coldest time of the year.
Yes,
no, absolutely.
Yeah, which is what the big page one story is about.
Okay.
This woman was kicked out of her father's home, made the great trek to Joburg, and the father of her children told her that he was married.
To somebody else?
Yeah. She's been sleeping on Joburg streets, and then apparently she made the great trek to Ekurhuleni, where an Alberton policewoman found her and fed her. The Daily Sun has called on its readers to help her out.
To help her out. Okay, Nicola, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Nicola Mawson of Business Day, taking a quick look at the headlines according to the newspapers this morning. Let's see what you can expect still coming up in the next hour here on Morning Edition. Famida Miller went to see R&B maestro John Legend in action, and she'll tell us all about it. And then, Morning Edition exclusively brings you the only television appearance in South Africa of Shrek, and he'll be here in person. And that is true. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the main news. Stay with us.